Pac-Man, the original gaming icon from 1980 that was in arcades everywhere. One of the most recognizable gaming characters in history, the mascot of Bandai Namco, eating all of the dots inside an enclosed maze while avoiding four-colored ghosts. As you go around the maze, collecting all of the dots, and there's power pellets as well, these flashing big pellets, and if you hit them, all the ghosts will turn blue, and you can go around the board gobbling them up as well as gobbling all the other pellets on the board, with also fruits to collect as well. They'll offer you loads of bonus points, and when you do gobble up the ghosts when they turn blue, that will give you bonus points as well. To complete the maze, basically gobble up everything in sight. Pac-Man is basically just a big yellow ball of soul-sucking fun. I really don't know why I'm explaining Pac-Man to you. I'm sure you've all played Pac-Man by now and know who Pac-Man is. Pac-Man is one of the longest running, best-selling, popular video game franchises in history. Pac-Man has been in it all. Pac-Man has done it all over the years. From racing games, sports games, and during the golden age of platforming, with the likes of Crash Bandicoot, Super Mario, Spyro the Dragon, Pac-Man had to get in on that with a platformer of his own in 1999 on the PlayStation 1 with Pac-Man World. And now in 2022, we have a remake of that 1999 game, Pac-Man World, called Pac-Man World Re-PAC. And when playing this, I couldn't help but think of those original, iconic platformers, Crash Bandicoot and Super Mario, to name the two that was coming to mind most, as you run, jump, butt bounce and swim your way to victory, turn into Mega Pac-Man and just gobble up the ghosts, all gobble gobble on all the ghosts there to complete that little bonus objective to get extra points added on at the end and to collect all the pack dots. In this game, you will be collecting and finding certain fruits to gain access to locked gates to collect more collectibles, but bouncing on switches to toggle them on to unlock other areas or items to collect. Finding keys to free your family who has been kidnapped by Pac-Man and his ghosts. You'll also be collecting all of the letters as you go to complete the word Pac-Man by the end of the stage, all while platforming obstacles and defeating enemies as you adventure on. Butt bouncing is Pac-Man's main attack as you butt bounce on enemies or throw pack dots. You'll also be using butt bounce to bounce to higher areas or to bounce on targets to propel yourself to higher areas as well. If you're bouncing on these targets, you actually have to be really precise, and it might take a few attempts to actually get it, because you really need to be dead on bullseye. Pac-Man can also become Metal Mario. It'll allow you to sink to the bottom of some water to then be able to crack open a bunch of chests to get items that you can't actually get underwater without this ability. It's Metal Mario. It's Pac-Man with a Metal Mario suit. You can also do a Sonic Dash, a Pac Dash, attack by holding down X to charge up the attack. This also comes in really handy to leap over certain big gaps. There is going to be ramps that you can power up this Sonic Dash attack, fling yourself forward with a huge dash to leap over the gap that aren't reachable with a normal jump. There's also classic style Pac-Man mazes that you can access and do that will be locked behind gates that will require a certain item to unlock the gate and access the classic maze. Each levels have different classic mazes in them to find and play for even more bonus points to rack up a high score at the end. With some levels in a certain themed area to complete, collecting and finding a variety of different fruit to unlock gates with the corresponding fruit. Completing classic mazes and finding all of the letters, and then after so many levels you will do a boss fight to then complete that area and move on to the next themed area. And now in this game, it definitely has those old PS1 control mechanics. You really can misjudge your jumps, and depth deception can be a tricky one in this game as well. From time to time, camera angles can be a minor inconvenience as well. But this Re-PAC remaster version of Pac-Man does offer some changes, big and small. All of the cutscenes have been redone for this version. All the levels, items, enemies, obviously it's all been redone visually. Everything has been redone. There's a perfect comparison comparing the two. Comparing the original game to the Re-PAC version of the game. All the levels have changed so much in design. So much detail there compared to the original and so much more. All of the sounds, the music and everything that's going on now. Compared to the original, just seeing them side by side is just, some things are a little subtler than others, but overall there's a big difference in just general design throughout the levels and characters and things here and there, items that have been rearranged and replaced. And if this is the first Pac-Man game that you are playing, this is your first introduction into Pac-Man, into this big yellow ball of fun, then what's the matter with you? Or I'm just really old. This game runs at 30 frames per second on Switch, and in the options you will find a performance mode to switch between performance and resolution mode, which a lot of people I think don't realise this is an actual option. It's hidden away right at the bottom of the options menu, but it's a much welcomed feature to have, the fact that you can switch between performance mode and resolution, especially on Switch only targeting 30 frames per second while the other versions are targeting 60 frames per second. All in all, this game has been an absolute pleasure going back to and playing through with this redone version. It's always a good time going back to experience the big ball of yellow fun every now and again, be it the classic Pac-Man maze-like games or Pac-Man World, Re-PAC, which I would highly recommend. And again, if you've never experienced Pac-Man, go play Pac-Man. Anyways guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you for making me a part of your day and checking out this video. Anyways guys, I'll see you next time.